Cincinnati, a 6'6 senior from Long Beach, California, number 33, Terry Nelson. At center for Cincinnati, a 6'10 senior from Monrovia, California, number 44, Corie Blount.
Let's talk about it. Hey, let's talk about it. Legends Unplugged, what's the deal? Speaking bluntly with C Blunt and T-Nail. We tell it how it is and all due respect. The UC Connect, them Bearcats, we rep, elevate, graduate, we the final two. Still at it like we did the final four back in 92. Let's talk about it. Legends Unplugged with T. Nelson and C Blunt. Yeah, let's talk about it.
At Cincinnati, they get after.
Bearcat fans in the building, you know who we got here today. Oh, man, it's going to be an amazing podcast today. First of all, I am your host, Terry Nelson.
And I am your co-host, Corie Blount.
In the house today. But, man, let's get into it. You know, there's a moment in every basketball story where the spotlight finds the player, finds the coach or the program. But before the moment, long before the cameras, long before the rankings, long before the wins, there's someone in the back row of a gym watching the game differently than everybody else. He's got a backpack on, got notepads, bunch of pens. He's got his own space. Nobody's around him. He's not there chasing attention. He's not chasing titles. He was chasing the truth. The truth of who a player is and what he eventually can become. That truth carried him from AAU gyms to rivals, from rivals to OKC, from OKC to here in Cincinnati, helped being one of the architects of this roster that we have going into this new Big 12 season. He's a roster of length, toughness, upside, and intentionality. You talk about Miles Colvin's scoring punch. Talking about Travion Carson's rebounding and guard energy, Taylor Riley's shot making, Tyler Tejada's versatility, David Oweezy's long-term ceiling. Piece by piece, the Bearcats have been built with purpose. And today we get to sit with one of the architects himself, the scout who built his reputation in the shadows, and now we're going to bring it to the light. This is Legends Unplugged. It's my man, Corey Evans. My man, what's good?
I need that soundtrack every morning, man. Every morning I need that. That's a great motivational little ploy right there. I like that a lot.
Yes.
We got a legend, man. You are a legend, brother.
No, you guys are, man. Appreciate you so much for being on board here. And again, I would not be here at this program without you guys. You know, you guys have created the rock level, foundational level to this program as a whole. And I'm so blessed and honored to be a part of it. And I'm really, really excited to see what we can do this next year and beyond.
Yeah, we appreciate that, man, and we know that too. You know, I'm just kidding. No, we appreciate that. You know, we're excited that you're here just based on the fact that we know how important your job is. Like I told you earlier, man, I'm a fan of yours because you hold my baby. You got my baby in your hand, man. Nothing is more important to me besides my family than UC Bearcat basketball.
Come on now.
And I got to give you the utmost respect because you're the godfather of the program, man. You're making decisions. You're bringing the right players in, and you are the one who's going to be able to dictate how we moving forward. And I think we're going to be happy with what you do, man.
Yeah, it's a whole team effort. You know, Coach Calhoun and the staff entirely. It's been a breath of fresh air in a sense with the massive turnover and change we've had.
Yeah.
Just so I can be of help along the way. I don't take that lightly, that responsibility lightly.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited for you guys to see what we're all about, and we're gonna make you guys proud. That's been the end all be all for us. This is the city's team, and bringing that tradition back to the forefront of what we did and what we're going to do.
Yeah, I like your demeanor, bro. Like, cause you can tell you meticulous and you calculating with it too. Like you don't
I call him
overdo it.
affectionately a basketball nerd.
Yeah, man, you can see it too. Like, you know, even when you talking, it's like you thinking like, how can I get
Numbers,
in advance?
Analytics, the little digital thing in his head
You
going
see
off.
the little numbers flying around, and
I got that light bulb trying to go on, man. It's trying to spark up there.
no doubt.
That's awesome. All right, let's take a deep dive back. get into some of your origin story, long before the journey of being an AAU rep, scout, getting the rivals, getting the OKC, coming to Cincinnati. When did you first feel that love for basketball? Like you wanted to just sit in the gym hot, sweaty gym all day.
It's kind of crazy. Probably in high school back in Pittsburgh, I was probably 16, 17 years old, and it was a Pitt Jam Fest. Pitt Jam Fest used to be the main event back in April, right? And it was at Pearson Event Center, Fitzgerald Fieldhouse, the Trees. And I remember watching the D1 Greyhounds, O.J. Mayo, play the Pittsburgh Jocks with DeJuan Blair, DJ Kennedy, and those guys, and just being infatuated with the whole process of being in the gym, evaluating these guys who were stars in my eyes, right? But they were 16, 17-year-old men. And I just love the whole trying to unpack who a person is and what makes them tick in the raw talent level. And I came from not a whole lot. So I always wanted to be a coach, actually, because I wanted to mentor people and help them thrive and get to where they want to be, point A to point B, so that what I went through, they wouldn't have to go through. And empathy is a very, very strong word to me, and connection is as well. So if I could meld basketball in with giving and caring and love, that was the end all be all for me. And I found it. That's basketball coaching. That would be, being a D1 head men's basketball coach. It's funny how it all works out now, but that was the end all be all for me when I was 15, 16, 17 years old, is melding those two concepts together.
Now, who was that first player at 16, 17 years old that you saw and was like, that's going to be a star?
Right.
I know he's good.
I graduated high school in 2004, I think it was.
Damn, you young.
Man.
I feel,
That was a good year.
I'm walking out the NBA at that.
You know who it was? It was probably being in Pittsburgh. Terrell Pryor was like that guy.
Okay,
like,
give us some background on him.
He had that aura. So Terrell was, we all know, two-sport guy, but he was a top 40 player in basketball, top 35 in basketball.
Okay.
And
Was he a shooting guard?
He was a shooting guard. He was, I couldn't imagine him today's age because he's a 2, 3, 4, the most versatile player, valuable player in the NBA right now. But he was the same time around LeBron as well. So LeBron actually played a game at Palumbo Center in Duquesne, and they actually played in the same doubleheader. So it was, St. V's, and then the game afterwards was Jeanette.
Okay.
And having those two guys in the same arena at the same time, you're like,
it was packed.
whew.
Yeah.
And if that's not what it is, what it looks like, I must be way off.
Yeah.
And Terrell he wasn't blessed with the career in the NFL that he probably should have had or could have had, but the talent level of Terrell Pryor in Western PA in the early 2000s, it was almost like the LeBron aura in Ohio.
Yeah.
So the Pryor thing was the one thing that really stings out to me was, man, that guy's special. And then you go to O.J. Mayo and Billy Walker and DeJuan Blair and those guys in the same class. That was special too.
Now, what's funny about that? Those two guys, Bill Walker and O.J. Mayo, were this close to being Bearcats.
Yep.
We had them, right?
Yep.
So you saw the talent in them. Those were supposed to be Bearcats at one point.
Program changers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
Hopefully that, I think moving ahead, that's going to be our primary focus here.
Yeah.
We need to keep this top-level talent. Cincinnati and the whole region in northern Kentucky is so, as you guys know, is so underrated for talent coming out of the area every year.
Yeah.
I know football is really good at Elder and St. X and Moeller in those schools, but, man, the basketball talent, especially coming up in 27, 28, that's a priority for us.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that the next Mayo and Walker, they're staying home. They're staying the 5-1-3.
Right. So 16, 17, you experienced that. What was the next phase that kind of got you to this level?
So most don't know this. So I went to Xavier originally out of high school. How about that?
Wait, which Xavier?
Hey, but I transferred. I left though, right?
Cut it off. Thanks for everybody.
I left.
Spin Legends Unplugged.
I left, right? I left, so that tells you it all. I left,
sure.
right?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I left.
Okay. You realize the error of your ways.
Exactly. So Sean Miller's a Pittsburgh guy, right? So
Yes.
I transferred back home to Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
And I actually started running a girls AU program.
Okay.
9-team AU. I'm 18 years old at the time. 19 girls AU program. Coaching high school basketball. I'm running my own basketball camps for Sean Miller's dad, John, who became a dad to me.
Okay.
And then I'm emailing every AAU coach in America, say, hey, I want to get involved, I want to coach your team. And one guy responded, Michael Duncan from Ohio Basketball Club.
How about that?
And Mike said,
Duncan, yes.
and Dunk said, if you help get us a player,
Ohio.
if you help get us a player at Ohio Basketball Club, you can come on and coach. So I'm sitting there Memorial Day week, this time of the year in 08. And I'm sitting around, I'm like, how am I going to get I'm 18 years, how am I going to get a player? And it connected that there was this kid that went to Chartiers Valley High School who didn't play big-time AAU basketball, who his dad was connected to a girl's dad that I helped coach and instruct and played from the AAU program. And in a matter of days, him and I were driving down to Bob Gibbons Tournament Champions in Raleigh, North Carolina. The rest is history. TJ McConnell. And TJ is like a little brother to me. And he had a tremendous summer along the way. He was already committed to Duquesne. When he was freshman in high school, he committed to Duquesne when he was 5'7", 130. His aunt was the head coach of Duquesne, Susie McConnell-Serio. And that kind of got me in the world of AAU basketball, and I started helping out OBC the next 2 or 3 years. It was a fun ride.
Yeah.
I was trying to get to some of the top Pittsburgh guys and kind of got me into the how do I recruit, how do I get from point A to point B, how do I get them from Western PA to Ohio Basketball Club. There was really no big-time AAU program in Pittsburgh anymore. The Jots kind of retired. And TJ was kind of like the first love, like that's the guy that like you look at and there's some quirks of TJ as far as how he plays and how his mental makeup is. And when you're around it every day, it kind of impresses upon you certain things that you start seeing, which allowed me as an evaluator to see things in other players that I said, man, he got it. Like he's watching Peyton Pritchard, I was like, that guy got it. Like he something different about him.
Let me stop you right there. You're in all these gyms. It's 10 games a day in these hot gyms. You don't want to lose your spot. You got to either bring your own food and snacks or drink or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So that grind of, you having to walk from gym to gym, going to these campuses, hopping in cars, going to these gyms, like going back, this all in the course of a weekend.
Yep.
What was it like? What did you learn from that experience of evaluating guys that everybody else is looking at sheer dunks and threes,
Yep.
and you're looking at something totally different?
Yeah, the way I see it is you're trying to build a book, right?
Yeah.
And the more you see someone, the better projecting you can do. The more data you have, the more data points you have, the better chance you have of projecting a player. We're all going to miss. Like Sam Presti always said, I'm going to miss, you're going to miss. I drafted some of these guys that didn't work out, but I also drafted some of these guys that did work out. That's why the trades, they wanted more darts to throw at the board. So for me, it was, how can I get in the gym as much as possible and be at the 8 a.m. game and 9:30 p.m. game and doing it the next day and the next week and keep doing it, going at it. And I think the more you see
Just
it,
outworking people.
you got to outwork people, right? You got to outwork people. And then you got to start looking at, if you see a guy when he's 15 years old, and you see him at 17, and then you see him in different settings, camp setting, AAU setting, high school setting, progression rate, and then what he does in a certain role, right? So what if in a camp, he goes to Nike camp or NBA camp, and now he's not the on-ball shot creator, but he's now kind of a secondary shot creator, facilitator, but more of a scorer.
You said progression rate. Are you saying that you chart like a graph to see where he's grown and how he's grown?
I always graded guys on like a 1 to 100 scale or 1 to 99 scale. And if you see him so many times, you have 15 evaluations of him from 15 to 18 years old. Well, you just put the grades together, and they're going up, they're going down. And after a while, what do you want to bet on? You want to bet on the stock that's going up or stock that's going down? And that's why you see so many guys in high school that start out here, number one in America, is 15, 16 years old, and they end up down here. Who are the guys that are just progressively getting better?
Yeah.
And what's their mental makeup? Like, are they easy to coach? Do they handle adversity well? How do they handle losing? And just, again, it's more data points to throw together on that chart to say, hey, I'd buy on this one.
So is it for someone who understands that whole AAU pedigree, far as You go in this gym, especially at those big tournaments, and there's 100 courts down there. And you just go from court to court until finally you see something and you stop and you observe something. Is it always the score, or is it the rebound, or is it just the guy you see that's just out playing?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think it's eye of the beholder. I think it's what you might value or magnify more in your own eyes.
Yeah.
I love feel. I love playing hard. If you're younger, I love how like the way you move.
Yeah.
And even it's kind of great, like the gait, like how you move and how fluid you are. And that all adds up. But it's really the feel and his basketball IQ mixed in with his physical mentality. Like, is he going to – I don't worry about – like Trey Mann. I saw Trey Mann. We drafted Trey Mann 16th in the draft in 2021, I think it was. And Trey was like a little baby to me.
Yeah.
And I loved him so much. And he was – first time I saw him, he had one offer from Lynn University, D2 school in Florida. And he was rising sophomore at the time. And he was probably about 5'11". But he had this long ass arms, man, and big feet.
Yes.
And I meet the dad. I can't see my hand anymore. The dad's hand, like, it's
So
just,
you know he's gonna grow.
I'm like, this guy's gonna grow.
Yeah.
He's gonna grow. Like, he's gonna keep sprouting up more and more.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, the guy's 6'3", 6'4". 2 years later, he's a McDonald's All-American. And he goes to Florida and does 2 years there, and he's a near lottery pick with us. But that's you try to see guys early on in the process. It's so important to see a guy earlier, the better, because then it gives you a larger vantage point to, okay, where I'm evaluating for him is college or the NBA. You want to be further away from the mirror as possible, because the closer to the mirror you are, the less you can really see and project, right? So the earlier you see a guy, the better it is. And that's why I think the public doesn't really understand why are these guys looking at 14, 15-year-old kids. It's not for now. It's a data point for when they're actually of age of their growth and development or lack thereof.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you're taking us into mind of how you think.
Man, for
using
real.
Data point. One of my mentors once told me this phrase, I never forgot it. He goes, a picture's worth 1,000 words, but a story's worth 1,000 pictures. So when you can paint the story of data points, in my mind, I can see a chart. I can see a graph. I can see a guy who worked himself up this summer, had a good summer. I can see a guy who didn't necessarily have a good school year, but I can see a guy who by the time AAU got back, he put on 10 pounds. I can see all the progression and all this stuff. You're looking at that. You decided you wanted to start round ball, starting round ball rundown.
Yep.
And now you got to deal with parents and give truthful evaluation.
Yep.
Not it's sort of friendship versus facts or relationship. Am I going to be real with you, or am I going to hype this kid up? How did you have to deal with that?
Yeah, I would say it was more so down the road when it became the ranking stuff at Rivals, and I remember getting some thrashings from parents of saying, "How can you have my son who's actually on the same team as a player and scoring more points than him, and you have this player ranked above my son?" And the ranking thing is it's a curmudgeon, because what are you ranking? Are you ranking talent? Are you ranking upside? Are you ranking? So it's tricky, because okay, maybe 1 through 20 you're projecting for the NBA, and 21 through 60 or 21 through 80 it's for media production in college basketball, and then 81 through 140 is hit and miss. Let's take a flyer on a guy. That was probably the hardest part, because even the ranker and the college coach, it's difficult to grasp that concept. But my thing was, if I'm in the gym doing the work, I might get it wrong. This is not exact, and it's an ambiguous ranking. But if I did the work, I'm going to be able to sleep well at night.
Right,
I'm not going to play politics.
Yeah.
I'm going to do my very, very best, which I told the parents. Say, I'm going to do my very, very best here. And you might think I'm wrong, and I might be wrong. But there's no politics behind it. I'm not playing anyone's side. I'm just doing my very, very best here.
So you're not being influenced by the shoe companies? And
No,
all that
that was and that's what I pride myself on, because the industry, there is some politics involved in different parts, right? And that was my slogan, in a sense. Hey, I'm going to be straightforward. I'm going to outwork everyone. You're going to see me everywhere, every camp, every AAU event, every high school event. So I'm going to be there,
Yeah.
and I'm going to be watching. I'm not going to be playing my game, talking to people. I'm going to be doing the work. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, because everyone's going to be wrong in this game. We're dealing with human beings, growing human beings with so much situational issues there. But if I'm doing the work, you can't argue with that. And that's how I felt good about it. And the parents and people around, if they had an issue with that, then that's on them.
Yeah.
But from there, it's, hey, I am who I am, right?
Man, that reminded me when I came out of college, I had a bunch of different agents coming to speak to me about signing with them. And my agent said just what you said. He said, all these other guys are coming after you because you're talent. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to work just as hard as you want to work to be in the NBA. I'm going to work just as hard on the sideline to get you there. Mark Bartelstein.
Yeah.
And that was my agent my whole career. So that's the realism that I see with you, man. And I'm taking it back to when I first met you. When you first, I don't know if you remember, I sent you a tweet like, welcome, looking forward to meeting you, and we met. And I said, man, I like what this guy is all about. The intricacies of what you did with Rivals. Now we're going to take it. What was the turning point for you to come up with, like, what made you decide to say, I need to create this because something else out there ain't doing what you're doing?
Yeah. My own scouting service deal was almost like the first 2-3 years of it was being like an amateur, right? And just that's when it's almost the purity of the game. I'm sure when you were
Triple A.
is that
single A, double A, triple A?
That's
yes.
when you that's when you don't really understand the time, but you love it the most then because it's just pure.
No notoriety.
And you're grinding.
Yeah.
And I'm grinding every day, and I was able to develop that and create pretty much account for 140 Division I programs that were on my service. And then you're getting involved with media companies, and then Rivals calls and
You got
says,
screens
hey,
all over your room?
It felt like it. Yeah. It felt like I was sleeping.
Then Rivals called?
Rivals calls, and that was kind of once the coaching thing kind of went out the door, the Rivals thing was like, that was what I wanted to do. I remember being in grade school, in high school, and looking at the rankings and all that stuff, and I was a massive college basketball fan growing up, and you're looking at all these rankings and all that stuff, and it's like, I can do that. I want to be that guy. Like I want to not for the power, but more so for the ability to be the top of my industry.
Yeah.
I think everyone wants to be. If you're in it and really in it, 2 feet in, you want to be the best at what you do, and that's what I want to do. I want to be the best at what I do. So when Rivals called, it was kind of a pinch me moment, for sure.
Yeah.
So when you get to the point now where you have 140 plus universities or that are using your services now, and now you know that your credibility can sway a kid being recruited one way or another. How do you handle that responsibility?
Yeah, I think you need to have strong morals in the end.
Where'd those come from?
How I grew up, I came from, a faith-based background. Mom was pretty faith-based, so came from nothing too, right? Pittsburgh guy, dad worked in the steel. I mean, it's the blue-collar background.
Yeah.
Mom came from nothing. Dad, was a painter for 30 years. So you every day you appreciate what you have in front of you, right? And
Hear this story.
yeah, I mean, you guys know it, and that keeps you grounded, right? And when you remember where you came from and the lack thereof resources you had, and then you get to that point and you understand, I'm impacting people's lives now and down the road. I need to be very sensitive and careful with this process. And yeah, there were moments that coaches asking, hey, can you help push the guy this way and that way? And in the end run, I became very friendly with the players, and I became very friendly with the coaches. So you're trying to play the middleman of sorts, and you're walking a fine line.
Yeah.
And it was a great learning experience and life experience for me of I finally made it here, and it happened so fast. But now everything I asked for, I need to be very disciplined with my approach on both fronts, both regards, because I'm actually working for the coaches because now they're paying me, right, from their service.
Yep.
But that does not mean I had to cross my ethics and morals here and push a guy a certain way just because he's, a friend or whatever it might be. It's whatever's best for the player, because that's all that matters. The industry is run by the players, not the coaches.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So you're starting to make a name for yourself. You're getting traction. People are seeing your reports. They're different. They're analytics based. They're seeing from a different point of view. You get a call from OKC. How'd that process go?
Yeah, so it's funny how it all works out. So at Rivals, Yahoo.com owned Rivals. So Pete Thamel, who's now at ESPN, Pete's the top college football reporter in the world. He became a very good friend of mine and a mentor to me. So
Shout out to Pete.
Pete's the best. Pete's the best. And so it goes back to when Pete went to Syracuse in 2001, when Mello won it all, he was kind of the editor of the main Syracuse student newspaper there, Daily Orange. Well, assistant coach at the time there was Troy Weaver. So Troy, 20 years later, is now assistant GM for Oklahoma City Thunder. So in the meantime, I was doing consulting work for different NBA teams, but Pete really pushed my name on to Troy Weaver. And Troy at the time also had a son playing AU basketball. So when you're in the gym, he's also in the gym because he has a son playing on the Adidas circuit. So him and I developed a pretty strong rapport. And over time, I didn't know it was going to happen. I'm at USA Basketball in, I think, October pre-COVID. And I had a text from a 405 number saying, hey, do you want to get together? And I'm asking, who is this? And it's Sam Presti. And next morning, had lunch with Sam, watched some college football games, and 3 hours later, you're like, this is pretty sweet. Like that's the GOAT of GMs and presidents and all of sports. And it had 3 hours with him and wants to kind of get together again. And got together again in a month later in November with his VP Rob Hennigan, who's a freaking rock star. And
the whole building is full of rock stars.
Yeah, they're elite. And that was kind of, again, another pinch me moment of what did I do to deserve this in a special way, to have Sam Presti show interest in me as a human being and as a potential coworker to come along to Oklahoma City Thunder.
So coming in, did they define your role to you, or you kind of got a chance to kind of feel your way through it a little bit, like bringing what you brought to the table?
Sam is really this is right when they trade for SGA.
Okay.
So it was right at the Paul George trade, and Sam, to an effect, said, we just got SGA and all these draft picks, and we think SGA's gonna be really, really good, but we also we know where it's going. We're going to get all these draft picks from all these different trades, and in the landscape of grassroots basketball, it'd be awesome if you can kind of help and come in and
get some intel,
and get some intel and guide the process. And that was a pretty special moment. I actually had to think double because I did get to the top. And we all say we don't have ego. We all have ego. There's some healthy ego. There's also some ego of, hey, I'm the top. I'm one of the top guys in my industry. Do I want to give it all away and jump to the other side and burn the boats?
Yeah.
And ultimately, knowing where and just being around Sam and the whole facility, and again Troy and Will Dawkins, who's now the GM of the Washington Wizards, you could just like how I now feel with Jared of that guy's gonna win. Just it's not because of me. It's because you knew they were going to win. So to be a part of that process and to have a pathway for my own growth, which I wanted, I said, I want to do grassroots, but I want to kind of thrive and do it all. That was special. And that's when I said, hey, I'm all in. I'm all in, man. I'm 2 feet in. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you got this opportunity now, and you're around what, as you mentioned, and it universally been stated as the best in the game in Sam Presti, because of his. What did you learn doing that? His process, how he goes about it, how he gets on the draft board, who he puts on the wall, how he runs his meetings. Like what kind of stuff were you around that you learned?
I would just say this: that Sam is the most curious human being I've ever been around.
Curious.
Yeah, he's super curious, and he's humble, where he doesn't act like he isn't, or he doesn't know. Like if he doesn't know, he's going to ask every possible question to get to the finality of what the answer is. And there's no bias. Doesn't skew you in a certain way to, I want the answer to be that, so I'm going to ask her. He's smart as all get out. We all know that. But his ability to ask the right questions continually to all the right sources, but also be patient for the long term and to know, hey, I want to get to point B. I'm not going to skip steps. And by doing that, I need to ask every possible question and also empower my staff to do their jobs so that all those data points are collected and that, hey, we might make the wrong decision, but it wasn't because our process was incorrect.
Hey man, you giving me chills, bro. and let me explain why I'm saying this, because just listen how you talk and how you remind me so much of Jerry Krause, man. And I'm not putting no cut on it. Like just the way you kind of express what you just said, Jerry Krause just rings in my ear listening to you. And the reason I'm saying that because out of all the GMs I played for, Jerry Krause, Jerry Colangelo, Gary St. Jean was another for the Warriors. I had good conversation with him. The Colangelos, I had a chance to talk to them. And Jerry was the one, my rookie year, of course, he drafted me, but he would always let me come to the office and we would talk, and he would break down to me what he needed and what he expected out of me. And when you were just explaining everything, I just heard Jerry's voice, bro. So that's just wanted to put that out there, man.
That's
Definitely one of the best.
Compliment.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I appreciate that, Cory.
That's no cut on it, man. I think just based on what I'm hearing and the way you've been conducting yourself, man, the future's gonna be big for you, bro.
I'm really excited about it.
That's love right there.
Be where your feet are, though, right?
No
Be
question.
where your feet are. I like that. So now that you, when you're evaluating a kid, what does it mean when you say this kid has a feel for the game?
Yeah.
You hear that all the time.
It's a very ambiguous term, right? And
Because Shea got great feel.
Yeah,
If I could ever
exactly.
see it, that's what it is.
And that's why Sam's done a great job, and you're seeing it now in San Antonio, is the feel of those players, their IQ. I would just say it's a mixture of your pace, your emotional IQ on the floor, being able to make instinctive decisions in pressurized situations, how you move, right? That tempo you move. Some guys just have, quote unquote, it, and they have it. AJ Mitchell, who is going to be a complete stud in the NBA from Santa Barbara, who just was amazing in round 2. He has that's feel. Like he's not gonna jump 42 inches in the air, he's not gonna shoot and make 50% from 3, but his pace and his ability to make decisions on the fly and to play to different tempos, and also have a feel defensively. Again, feel, it's hard to really box up, but when you watch it so much over and over again, Baba Miller had feel.
Yeah.
And feel is, I think feel mixed with motor, that's two-way playmaking. And so what we're selling to recruits and different players is when you have a high feel and you play hard enough, you're talented enough. If we're on you or the NBA's on you, you're gonna make it. Yeah. Because the feel, it's a basketball IQ and knowing where to be and knowing how to pass the ball, and that also impacts defensively too. It impacts your steal rate. It impacts all these different things. Feel is, I think, to me, the most valuable asset for any player to have outside of heart.
So,
Man.
we're gonna get into some UC questions, but before that, I got one last
there.
question. there is
that was it, man. Shit, trust me, I dig that answer, man, because I feel that as somebody who loves the game and someone who's played the game, everything you just said to me identifies as a basketball player, man. At that, not just at the highest level, just any level. When you're able to have the feel, you're able to have the energy, the heart. I always use Zach Randolph as a prime. He couldn't jump out the gym, but I'd take Zach Randolph to play with me on any team because he had heart. So that what you just said is that's it.
And that's why a guy like Jokic, falls to the second round, and they're doing talk about commercials when he's getting drafted. Okay, he can't jump over a phone book, but he also has one of the best feels of any basketball player of all time, right? And then you mix that in with his heart and his work ethic and his ability to fight through adversity. that's why he's going to be, first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I think he has a God-given talent.
Yes.
But I don't think he take care of himself as probably as a
That's a little different.
Drink beer in the locker room like you did in the 80s.
God said, I'm gonna give you a little.
No doubt. He gave it a lot of that, man.
So when you look at, I think there's a difference between IQ and EQ.
Yep.
And IQ is, in basketball IQ, it's knowing when to cut, reading the play, understanding the play. But then to win championships and play on different levels, you have to have emotional quotient. You have to be able to manage your emotions during chaos.
Yep.
Certain people that are very talented are very good for 3 quarters or very good for 30 minutes of a game. But then when it comes to clutch time in those last 5 minutes, they don't perform well because they don't operate well in chaos. How much of that, when you look for close games and big situations when you're evaluating, you look for guys with EQ?
Yeah, it's funny. When De'Aaron Fox was coming up in high school in AAU basketball, I always called him Mr. Clutch. And it's funny, he almost won, Clutch Player of the Year 2 years ago. And him and
like 4 years ago.
I joke with him, and it was always like when the lights were the brightest, like who's ready to step up and say, give me the ball. And not just, I'm going to go score it, I'm going to go make the right decision. And Wemby showed it the other night against Oklahoma City. Shea has been tremendous at that. There is a stoicness out of those guys that when everyone's heart starts racing, theirs slows down.
Yes.
And again, it goes back to seeing guys multiple times.
Nick was like that with us.
Yeah.
You need to see you need to see a player multiple, and if he does it over and over and over again, that's God-given.
Yeah.
That's God-given. I don't care what kind of test you can put him in the cauldron. That's God-given. And yeah, it could be spruced upon and developed and getting better. But when you get guys like De'Aaron Fox and Wemby and Shea, yes, they're out, but they love the moment. They want the moment. Even Jalen Brunson last night. I mean, it's those guys just they get out the way. I'm gonna make something happen here. And again, it's not just all scoring. It's just making the team win.
Yeah.
You're in the room now at University of Cincinnati. You're in the room now with Coach Calhoun, and you're seeing his processes. And he has an NBA mindset, which you're very familiar with, and you see him put stuff together. How has that transition been of new staff coming in place and coming up with a philosophy and trying to go get the talent?
Yeah, it's been an amazing marriage in a sense with his ideology set and my ideology set. There's not a whole lot him and I differ on. And he just pretty much brought along his own book from Utah State that worked there. And I just try to stay out of the way and, give my own 2 cents when needed. His ability to lead a room, but also make you feel like, and this goes for every staff member, have a real say in that decision-making process.
Presti?
Yeah, it does, man, because he doesn't overpower the room with his voice. He doesn't overpower. He knows how to put guys in different spots to succeed. I would say the number one term with him is collaboration. Collaboration has been at the utmost, most elite level with him and his staff. And you could tell they've been together for a while, but it's a real team it's a unity. There's a unification there with all those guys, and they check every box together. There's no one that is, there's no God in the room. They're all just doing their part so that as a collective effort, we can succeed. And it's been really cool to see Coach Calhoun and his ability to kind of be the head of the snake there.
Well, I can say this. We are very excited about the hire, and we're excited with what you guys are going to bring to us. Like I said earlier, man, I'm a fan because you guys have my baby in your hand. The only way I'm going to be happy is if you guys do your job at a high level. And I can honestly say this. You already been blessed because the last Corie that came through here took him to the Final Four. So now you got to
bring it back.
Now you got to
we got to bring it back.
Oh my goodness!
Hey, I'm just saying.
We got to bring it back.
The last Corie did.
Hey, I'm here. We're here for all the heat. We're all here for all the heat, man. All the smoke, give it to us.
He's building his right though.
Yeah. Oh well, we ain't gonna go there. We had that discussion off camera.
All right, so
Yeah.
now I want to get into some of the guys that we have on the roster. If we got some time to do that,
Yeah.
we're just going to go through for First of all, make sure you like and subscribe. Get on there. I know you like this. Send this to about 10 other people.
Yeah.
We're growing, and we're trying to get guys like Corie, which is an amazing guest, and get more of this information out to you because the Bearcat fans are starving for what's taking place right now. They can see it percolating. They can see – a lot of times when you watch a plant grow, you have to get to the class where they have the little glass in front of it, and you watch – the plant's only this big. The root system is all the way down, wrapped around, waiting, trying to look for water in different places, and people never see the growth until one day, like a bamboo.
Yep.
Bamboo doesn't even show for 5 years. It just stays in the ground. But the root system is miles long. And then in 1 year, it sprouts up 90 feet. And you just never know. So you putting in all that work is where you got to here. That's why when you're saying, man, I just can't believe I'm sitting in here with Sam Presti, like, thank the Lord for what's going on. Like, you put in the work.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, but I think we all are lucky, and that luck might come around once in your lifetime, 5 times, but be ready. Better be prepared and be ready for it. And when you're ready for it, take the jump.
Yeah.
Miles Colvin. He is 6'5", 212, Wake Forest transfer, averaged 11.5 points, 4.5 rebounds. What role do you see him in? Just talk a little bit about him.
Yeah, comes from an amazing athletic background with his dad, and for him, the guy's so experienced. He's played 11 postseason games, 9 in the NCAA tournament. Played, I think, 13 minutes in the NCAA
that's crucial.
championship game.
Yes,
right. And, with Zach Edey and those guys at Purdue. His level of maturity, and goes back to it, his stoicness, his consistency day in, day out. He's a shooter. He's athletic. He can guard. That's a 3-and-D, 2-guard wing that can fill a real role for us.
At 6'5", yeah.
At 6'5", and the fact he's just turning 21, as he isn't even 21 yet, but has 3 years of college experience under his belt, playing for 2 great coaches in Steve Forbes and Matt Painter. We're just so excited to have him on board because his wiggle room and ability to play different spots on the floor, but also impact both sides of the floor, it's instrumental to how we build our roster out.
That's awesome. Travion Carson, 6'3", 200 pounds, North Dakota State transfer, averaged 12 points, 6.5 rebounds, 3 assists, elite rebounding guard. His versatility is something that you guys probably looked at and said, we can fill a lot of holes with this guy. How do you envision his role?
Another guy that played in the NCAA tournament last year, literally went from JUCO to first team All-League in the Summit, which is so hard to do, playing against 22, 23, 24, 25-year-old grown men out there. But he's come from nothing. Middle of nowhere, Iowa, went JUCO, and now he went to North Dakota State, played for a great coach there in Dave Richmond. And to throw him on our team, he has some stuff to him, right? And he actually rates out as advanced analytic-wise as our top-rated guy, which is kind of a sneaky thing there. But came on a visit. We just loved his character and intangibles, just very, very laid back, low-key again, come from nothing. So he's ready to really fight and come in here and battle. He can play both guard spots, again, impact both sides of the floor, can make shots, can guard the basketball. And again, it's the mentality.
Are these guys full-court defenders?
This guy, Miles Colvin,
yeah,
all of our guys, man, the level of athleticism that we have and the size and functional ability, it's going to be fun to allow Coach Calhoun to throw some junk defenses out there and surprise some people.
Let me ask you this, because it's been a long time since I went through that gauntlet of trying to impress a coach to get me on a team. When you guys bring these guys in, what kind? The analytics already have been spoken for, right? Do you guys take them like through individual workouts once they get here, or do they get a chance to? We got a chance to play against the guys that was here before us. Do they even incorporate anything like that?
The issue is we had no players on our team.
This year coming
that's
in.
right.
Yeah.
We had no players on our team this year.
We went to a pickup game and played.
So
there's nobody.
We didn't even have players to host our recruits.
Wow.
Right. So that was a difficult spell there, but I think all the prep work that we did as a staff going in with intel, making the phone calls, doing the basic raw eval, watching film, and then the basic and then advanced analytics, and throwing it all together. if we're bringing you on campus, we want you.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. We need to be efficient with our time too. We had 19 visits the past 40 days, so every 2 days we had a visit. It felt like.
And your eyes are still white. I thought they'd be burning red right now.
I've had two.
His visor
I
at
got
home about this big. Like,
I'm bathing in it, right? I'm bathing in it. It was that might be Coach Calhoun, though. I'll tell you that. That guy's asleep.
Oh my goodness!
But yeah, it's if you're coming on board, we need to be efficient and effective with our time, and we also don't want to play the game with you, the player, the recruit. Like if you want us, we want you. Let's get it done.
Okay. All right, Elijah Perriman, 6'2", 190, came from Utah State with Calhoun, averaged 3 assists per game as a freshman, had several games of double-digit assists. He's another one of those combo-type guards. Talk a little bit about him.
I know Cincinnati fans have been wanting bigger guards in a sense, right? This kid's massive. He's 6'2", 6'3", with a 6'7", 6'8" wingspan. He's big, he's thick, he's strong.
He's going to play bigger.
He's going to play. You stand next to him, you think he's 6'5", right? His ability to play make and shot create and make lives easier for others around him is pretty impressive. He'll be one of our best passing guards in the last 10 years that we've seen here. He is a little bit high risk, high reward for sure. He has to improve the turnover rate.
I invest in crypto. I understand.
No doubt.
High risk, high reward.
Yes, he is. But the raw talent and abilities and his passion, like he has a lively energy to him.
Yeah.
And the fact that Coach Calhoun's already coached him for a full year, he's going to be a really fun one to have around just because of how talented and the potential that he has just as a sophomore, and the fact that he played so many games and played in 2 NCAA tournaments as a freshman.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. Is it Tylen Riley?
Tylen Riley.
Tylen Riley, 6'3", 190, Tulsa transfer, averaged 15 points, 4.5 assists. He's a proven Big 12 scorer. How do you maximize his scoring and without losing the ball and all this other stuff?
The next step for him is he knows this is to become more consistent from 3, right? But his story has been so fun because he's a kid from Las Vegas that went to Cal Baptist for 2 years, barely played his first year. In a matter of 2 years, he's the starting point guard on a 30-plus winning team at Tulsa. And his progression rate is through the roof. And they could have won the NIT this past year against Auburn. And you guys are going to he might take your job. Like he wants to be the next Stephen A. Smith.
Yes.
He has the personality to him. He's gonna make a watch smile. He is someone that Bearcats fans are going to wrap their arms around. They're going to love him. He will be the head of the snake in a sense, as far as how far we go will be partially because of him. He's 6'3", 6'8" wingspan. He's massive.
Wow.
He got long arms. He's functionally athletic.
That's how you get a lot of steals. Long-armed defenders from the wings.
We're really going to drive into him the idea of, can you be that two-way playmaker? He'll be one of the top 50 assist rate guys in all of college basketball next year. But man, he's 6'3", like I said, with the ability to play different guard spots if he can start making shots consistently from 3, which he shot about 32% from last year from 3. And he knows it, and he works at it. And he's someone that he wants to smoke. Like he came here for a reason. He wants to bring this place back to where it was, and he knows where it was. And now we're gonna rely on him to be a primary player and driver for that success.
Oh, I love it, man. Is it Akai?
Akai
Fleming, 6'4", 184, Georgia Tech transfer, averaged 10.5 points, 3 rebounds, former 4-star.
Yep.
Talk about him.
Again, another guy, 6'3.5", 6'7" wingspan, thick, strong. I think he just turned 19, might just be 18 now. Already played 1 full year. I think he started about 20 games at Georgia Tech. Had 18 or so at Louisville, 20 at NC State. He's proven. He's already done it. He's kind of fell in our lap the last moment. He's going to compete for a starting spot for sure. His intangibles and his tangibles, the shooting is his superpower. Now we get to get him back to the shot selection. Some of that wasn't him last year, But I think with him next to a guy like Tylen Riley, like Elijah Perryman, and in Coach's offense, I think he's going to be a surprise for us. I really do.
How about that?
Man.
I really do.
I love surprises. Okay, that was the guards.
Yep.
So we just talked about the guards.
And you're talking about 6'2", 6'3", 6'3", 6'3". Everyone has plus 2, 3, 4 wingspans, size, physicality. Going,
That was intentional.
Going through it last year and seeing it, and I've always been a big proponent of bigger guards, but seeing those schools in the Big 12,
Yeah, they gave us problems.
it's an issue. And you're playing Arizona and Houston and Kansas and Texas Tech and Baylor and Iowa State, BYU. You see the size and physicality, and how can you beat Houston's press, and how can you overcome the physicality of Arizona? Well, we got the troop now. Yeah. The troop's there.
Oh, come on now. You sound like Joe Burrow. we finally got what we need. Huh? Okay. All right, let's go over some of these forwards. Tyler Tejada, 6'9",
Yep.
230 out of Townsend, 17.7 points per game last year, 5.5 rebounds, versatile scoring big.
Yeah.
Talk about him.
Yeah, he's not even a big. I would say he's a wing forward. He's we call him hybrids. But he what's impressive about him was he was CEA Player of the Year 2 years ago. Last year, he didn't have the year he wanted to have, but comes from an amazing coach and Coach Gary Townsend, very defensive, physical first. So he fits the Big 12. What I loved about him was people called it a down year, but he tripled his assist rate. So he showed the ability to make others better. So he's not Baba Miller. He's his only Tyler Tejada.
Yeah.
But there is that sneaky secondary passing playmaking out of that forward wing spot that Baba showed last year that Tyler Tejada is going to show. And when you have a guy like that with that size, and he can make shots, he can go get his shot, and then you throw some shooters around him like Nakai Fleming or Miles Colvin, it's going to be really fun.
Oh, C. Blount. Come on now. Hey, you wanted to – he's 6'9", 230. He goes, I wouldn't call him a big man. No, he's a wing, multi –
I was 6'10", 230.
Yeah, you wanted to shoot the ball. Like you wanted to do think about this now. I'm 6'6", Shay's 6'6". That's a point guard now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You playing center at 6'9 and a half, 6'10", and he got 6'10 and a half.
Yeah.
When I first met Corie was 6'6", driving a rusty.
Oh, here we go.
What was that car?
It was a 64
A
clean.
64. Well, he had primer all over it.
It wasn't painted yet, though, but it was still clean. Yeah.
He was 6'6". The next year I played him, he was 6'9 and a half. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? People don't grow after high school.
Yeah.
He finally got food to eat other than tuna fish,
Man,
and he started
top
growing.
ramen.
So he started growing. I'm just saying that's your thing. Adlin
Elamine.
Elamine, 6'9", 185, Utah State, almost 7 points per game, 3 rebounds, long, skilled, familiar with the system. Talk about him.
That's a guy that, again, he had double-figure scoring game against Villanova in the NCAA tournament. Coach knows him. Whole coaching staff knows him. Gullible, easygoing personality. He is maybe the most talented pound-for-pound player that we have. And his upside is just through the roof. He's 6'8", 6'9", and he can move and that fluidity to him to guard different spots, to make shots, to finish at the basket. He can go as far as he wants to go. It's about, can he put the work in now as a true sophomore in the Big 12, and now you're playing those Houstons of the world every day. So the weight room is going to be instrumental to his success this summer going forward. It's what he does these next 3-4 months that will eventually come to light. That's going to be paramount to where he is 12 months from now. He could be in the NBA 12 months from now. It's within reach. He's that good. But can he do all the stuff daily, the habitual stuff that's going to be positive for his progression rate? If he does that, he'll be a favorite here in Cincinnati because
Dr. Lucky tell him he can't leave.
Yeah, he does some special
for 2
stuff.
years. Okay. This next one, it's kind of personal to us. Eric Mahaffey, 6'6", 200, Akron.
Played
We
against
know
his
his
dad.
dad. We played against. So Jamie Mahaffey
Rest
played
in
at
peace.
Miami.
Yep.
He ain't rest in peace. I just talked to him the other day.
His dad?
Yes.
That's so wrong, man.
Yes.
I thought he passed.
No,
He's so wrong, man.
He had congestive heart failure.
Yeah.
Got a new heart.
Oh, okay.
So
He's a winner, man.
Yeah, he's a winner.
Sure,
Yes.
I apologize.
Come
for that,
on, man.
gentlemen. Hey, I thought he had left us, but he's still here.
Yeah,
cut that out. But do remember when I ain't gonna say it.
So when we
Came to
talk
Miami
about
and-
O.J. Mayo and all those guys, he coached at North College Hill, won 3 straight back-to-back, 3 straight high school tournaments.
Yeah.
Think about this. He won 2 of them with O.J. Mayo. They leave, that whole thing leave. And then he has a bunch of guys that nobody knew about, but they knew how to win, and they won the championship the next year. And I think that's something to say with it. But his son Mahaffey was sort of one of those guys that's kind of underrated. You talk about a guy's ability to dog defensively, can do multiple things, has point guard skills. It's just, when you talk about a roster full of versatility, Eric Mahaffey embodies what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's that utility knife, and his character is through the roof. It's amazing. I told his parents that they did an amazing job raising him. He is like a blank slate right now, though. He is going to be so good. Talking about a guy that went to Akron, average I think 9 and 5 a game for
as a freshman.
Again, NCAA tournament team with John Gross as a coach, who's a great coach. We all know. And it's funny. My great fellow strength coach was. He's like salivating right now because he's getting his measurements and he's getting all this basic testing done. He's like, man, this guy's going to be physically, he's going to go through the roof because he's big, he's 6'6", 6'11" wingspan, he can move, he's functional. But again, he's smart too, and he plays hard. He wants to fire, he wants to smoke. I have no idea what he's going to become. In the NBA, we call him outs, and outs means, hey, we think he's going to go that way. He's going to be this kind of player, but he also could be this player, could be that player. That's what he is. That's what makes him more valuable, is because he has different ways that he can actually have success and get on the floor, whether it's defending, whether it's making shots, whether it's being a slashing, playmaking wing. But to have that size, that's what those Big 12 teams have. That's what the Houstons have. That's what the Arizonas have. Those 6'6" guys that can play up, play down, or be a 3. And at 6'6" with that length, and what Coach Calhoun does defensively, he's tailor-made for it.
That's awesome. Okay, that was the end of our forwards. Now we got
a real man,
a center. David Oweezy, 6'10", 240, Utah State, redshirted last year. He averaged in high school 11 points, 7 rebounds. Coach always talked about in his press conference, he likes to have guys redshirt.
Yep.
That they can be on the scout team and use that with intentionality to get better.
Yep.
A lot of times they just filling a role to go over the plays of the guys that you're playing, and then don't necessarily have a plan of how to develop that guy. And this is one of the guys that he developed. Talk a little bit about him.
Yeah, if Mahaffey's a clean slate, this guy's just making the slate. He's a ball play right now, and I think and I hope that he confirms it this summer with his play, but he could be someone that really sneaks in there with some minutes because he's just so big.
Man.
And he's 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", with a 7'2", 7'3" wingspan. He's athletic, and he can move, and he can think the game. And when you have that and you have hands as a big man, I mean, you're going to find a spot at our level to play and give some minutes to us. And to have him in as a true freshman, a real freshman now, to have 4 full years of him, it's going to be really, really cool to see where he is from day one to the final day here.
I think that's what I like most about Cham and Baba, their ability to get up and down the floor.
Yeah.
Do these guys kind of bring that same?
Good question.
Are
they mobile?
They all can move.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't want any plotters, man.
Okay.
We don't want any plotters. We want to play with pace and tempo and also ball movement. We want guys that aren't play finishers. We want connectors at every spot on the floor.
Okay.
Forward, did I mention Jaden Hastings? I didn't mention Jaden Hastings.
Bring up Jaden Hastings.
Jaden Hastings, 7 points,
Yep.
5.5 rebounds per game, transferred from Boston College, got 2 years of eligibility.
Yeah, I know the stats don't sound too sexy and very they don't.
Mine don't either, so we're good.
Man, we wouldn't have won without that 2
Hey,
point.
they gotta feel real. But you know what? Jaden Hastings, man, he is.
Pow! Pow! That's my I'm the single shot guy.
Gotta feel real. Everyone has a role to fill.
Gotta
Right?
feel a role.
There you go.
Jaden is he's a kid that he's he played in the highest level in high school with IMG. Goes to Boston College, played in I think 90 games or 60 games in the ACC. But he has 6'10", 7'2" wingspan, and he is mobile, and he can go and get go catch a lob above the box in the backboard. It's his shot blocking, his ability to roam around and block shots and protect shots. He is. I know we've had some tremendous shot blockers over the past 3, 4, 5 years here, but he is bar none. He'll be in the same conversation with those guys. And his next step is how can he guard away from the basket? Can he guard a ball screen? Can he switch at times? Can he hard hedge it? But he is someone that he's a elite finisher at the basket, and he's an elite shot blocker at the basket. So you have this 5-foot zone at the basket that he's going to dominate. Now, can he spread his wings elsewhere? We'll see. But for now, we are so excited to have a guy that can really go in the paint in Texas Tech and Houston here again and be a real presence there every night doing it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Eric Hicks, single-season shot block record at University of Cincinnati.
Might be coming down.
He's coming forward. He's
come on,
coming forward.
I think that was 112 or something, 112 blocks. So it was an incredible number.
Yes.
And you're saying he could be possibly chasing that number.
Yes. Yes.
All right, you added another shot blocker, Mount Union, Deshaun Vaden for the 6-7 for this season, 26-27 season. Talk a bit about him.
Yeah, so we just hired Mike Feline from Mount Union, who was very, very good friends with Coach Calhoun. I think they're going to vacation this weekend together, so there's some background there. But Mike is an amazing human being. You guys are going to love him. But he coached Deshaun, and Deshaun's a guy that kind of was a walk-on there and just was playing rec basketball. And
How about that story?
saw him walking around and said, hey.
It's not like a high school thing where you walk around the gym and see a big
that's
guy.
what it was. He was walking around and Mike said, hey, can you come out and give it a shot for 1 year? And his progression rate per Mike and just watching the film and just being around the kid a little bit, talking to the kid for a bit, progression rate's been through the roof. And he's 6'10", 7'4" wingspan.
Oh, my goodness.
And he has touch. So he was, again, led the nation, I think it was, or number 2 in the nation last year in shot blocking in D3 basketball, was Defensive Player of the Year in his conference last year and only played 15, 16 minutes a game.
That's crazy.
So he's a guy that the ceiling is unimaginable. We have no idea how good he can be. He can either be, like Coach Calhoun said last night, he can either be the greatest practice player of all time in Cincinnati or one of the greatest stories of Cincinnati. And either one will take, but the fact is he's an amazing human being that has, again, familiarity with one of our coaches. So the easing on process is going to be very, very seamless, we hope. And we'll see what he does.
You know what?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
When I'm kind of scared of that when you're talking about basketball players and you say they're amazing human beings. It's like, is that just the cliche
You've
word?
been around a lot of a-holes, Corie. You played with some.
I mean, we do want some dogs now.
You got enough
You
dogs.
can't have all saints. You got to have a bunch of sinners, too. You got to have a few of them.
Yeah.
But more importantly, you want guys that work.
Yeah.
They're all
got
going to work.
toughness.
They're all going to have that was very, very important was they had the right habits. Right?
Gotcha.
They had the right habits. And don't worry, we have some dogs there.
Yeah.
Tyler and Raleigh, you're going to hear him bark a little bit. And Elijah Pyramid, you're going to hear him bark. And
Okay.
I think, and the physicality is going to be up to par for sure. So
No, we gotta wrap this up. But before we do, I got one more question.
we got one more player, too, Raleigh Allen Spots,
Riley,
man.
come on, give it to
We
him.
got to give it Raleigh. Raleig's going to be a guy that, again, played in the NCAA tournament 3 years ago at Stanford, won 20-plus games. George Mason under Tony Skinn, another great coach. And
the big body.
So
Is it
big body,
okay.
6'9", but he can shoot it. He can feel. He can play out short rolls. He can play out the pocket. So that was very integral in our process was getting big men that can do different things.
How many
right?
lefties we have?
Whew. I don't know if we have.
Do we have any lefties in the paint?
I don't know if we have any, man. How about that? I don't think we have any this year.
You're not doing your job. You're fired. You gotta go.
Hey, if
Why
they're
you
good-
need
Get some
Hey,
touch.
hey, if
Need
they're
some
good
touch
enough,
around the basket.
Don't worry, man. We'll be good enough. I promise. you.
Okay. All right. All right. So when I look at this roster,
Ambidextrous guys work, don't they?
well, if you can actually make it with the other hand, just shooting it is one thing. I shot some with the left. Remember in Memphis? I made
Yeah, I
that.
do remember
shot that
that.
left hand hook
Oh,
shot.
boy.
Definitely remember
It missed
that.
everything. It just.
boy.
I said, Harrison, you told me that. He goes, I didn't teach you that. It took me under the bus. But now you got the ingredients. You got a master chef that says, watch out. You know, my mom, who, God bless her, she you know, sometimes when you come home and you got groceries, it's easy to cook.
Yep.
But sometimes you go in the cabinet and you got a bag of rice here, some beans over here, and you got to make a meal for 5 or 6 people. And when you come out, she said, get out the kitchen. She come back an hour later, and it's just 7 course. It's beautiful. You got a coach that got groceries that he couldn't afford before. And now you put it together, and you got a guy, he's got a chef hat. He goes, hold my beer. Coaches, let's get together. He got coaches for defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators. He's got a plan for each player, and he's positioned. Talk about that.
I mean, that's where the game's going, right? It's the NBA. It's football. There's a reason why there's so much effort that goes into coaching, as we know. And again, he's someone that Coach Calhoun is not a micromanager. So it's, hey, you do your job. Now, the offense is his baby. That's what he does great. That's really lead at. But he also empowers his staff. So this is my time to kind of step away, man, and let them do what they do. But that's why
I love that.
That's why the onboarding process and recruiting process and the evaluation process was so important, because you can't go back now. It's what do we want at each spot on the floor, and how do they kind of coalesce and mesh together? And as you guys know, it's alchemy. We're dealing with 18 to 23-year-old kids, so that have a lot of money involved and a lot of people in their heads and the media and all that. But that's why we believe bringing the right people onto the bus, and that's everyone. That's the trainer. That's the strength coach. That's why Coach Rayfeld is such an elite force for us, and that's why the admin and the coaching staff. It's all important, because as you guys know, 1 weak link, that the role allocation. If the role allocation is not set properly and the right guys are not in the right spots, we see it in the NBA all the time. Why that guy not work out there but goes there and succeeds? Because the role allocation was not on point.
Man.
And we feel like I really have great optimism and confidence that Coach Calhoun and these guys and the talent and personnel we have is all, the alignment is on point.
I read some of the same books you read. I can tell that you talked about alchemy. You talk about getting on the seats on the bus. That's Jim Collins. You know, making sure it's not just making sure he's on the bus, in the right seats on the bus, because certain people shouldn't be driving the bus. They should be in the back doing support. Certain people, just because they had numbers in high school or a certain way growing up, should not be the one leading the program, because they don't really know necessarily how to lead. When you talk about why they were not successful here, they go somewhere else and they're successful. Then you start saying, coach don't know how to coach. Well, they ain't the coach know how to coach. He just had them in the wrong role.
Exactly. And I think it's why also self-awareness of the player himself, knowing who he is, but also that's why it's a tricky slope there, because do you have enough self-awareness to know who you are, but also enough confidence to know that you can do just a certain threshold, right? So we want growth mindset people, but we also want guys that know who they are and know where they can really thrive and say, you know what, I might be able to do this 20% of the time, but this player can do it 70% of the time much better. So I need to stick to doing this where it's inverted. And having the self-awareness and the confidence level and humility to fill that role and to know that role, that's why this process of figuring out who these people are and who's around them, and that there's an accountability factor there, and they're fine with that, is so vital to this whole team building concept.
Definitely nowadays, I think that's critical, because you're getting these pieces that's getting thrown together and they're not familiar with each other. So that's, I think, the beautiful thing that we were able to do was define our roles, but we built chemistry amongst each other, where we really trusted and believed in each other. I think that's the critical, hardest part of coaching athletes now, is to get the players to believe that everybody on that team is about each other instead of individually worrying about themselves. And the money could bring that out of them, I think, at a higher level more than ever.
I think that's why Coach Calhoun is so great. And I'm not saying it's the right way, but I believe it is too. This summer, we're going to work. We're going to work. But this summer is more about, it's the bonding phase, right? Like, how do we get these guys to immerse themselves with each other, right? And that's why we're going to the Bahamas in August and really getting away from the
We need a radio broadcast from there.
There you go, man.
I'm just saying. I didn't get a call yet. I'm just saying. I'm waiting on Brett. I should have my itinerary. Come on now.
Yeah. I'm
Hey, you know what?
watching from a distance, but
Corie, this has been awesome.
yeah, no question.
It's been awesome to hear.
Whenever you bring a Corie anywhere, it's going to be
No doubt.
awesome, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what we bring to the table.
Y'all get on my damn nerves, both of y'all. Okay, but it's awesome to have a guy that can explain the vision. That's one thing that really led Corie and I to really appreciate Coach Calhoun, because we talk about it in the back of 2-2. It says, write down the vision and make it plain so a herald can run with it. Somebody can run with it. Make the vision plain. And when you see Calhoun give a vision that's plain, we all rock with them at the press conference. And then hearing you on the podcast, you explain the vision that you have that was similar to him, that y'all been meshing together. And you get all these players that are happy to be on campus, fans that are happy to have a new variation, a new Bearcat roster here. And to see that there's intentionality, there's a plan, there's a focus. It's going to be different. I think we're going to start not only having a bunch of players go to the NBA from this new style of coaching, I think we're going to have to keep replacing coaches, because his coaching tree will be so big, and people will start getting jobs and taking people with them. And that's the beauty of being a successful coach, is that everybody wants to have what you have.
Yes.
They want to recreate that. So is there a plan to be able to replace those guys? Obviously, you went through a bunch of guys that you didn't hire now, but maybe in the future. Is there a plan or a succession plan in place? I don't think you guys even went this far yet.
Yeah.
There's going to be guys leaving because there's going to be success here.
Yeah, no question.
I think, you know what, a guy like Coach Calhoun, everyone's going to want to come to work for that guy, which means we're going to bring up the best profiles to come work for him. And he had a coach last year, Coach Allen, who's now the head coach at Tarleton State, and that coaching tree is going to spread more.
That was his offensive coordinator.
Correct. So, and he has guys coming up, Curran Walsh, Mike Feline, who came from Mount Union, and already the guys on staff of Max Bent and with Johnny Hill and Manny Robinson and Ben Asher. These guys have been with him through it all, and the fact they reflect a lot of his own ethoses, it's going to happen, because we're going to win here.
That's right.
We're going to win here, and people
And
want
win
winners.
big.
We're going to win big, so they're going to want winners. So the stable is pretty full. And I know the next man up is going to be a guy like Curran Walsh, who keeps succeeding and thriving. But people are going to want to work for Coach Calhoun, and they're going to want to work at Cincinnati, even more importantly, because this place is special. Like you said, we're going to win big. And when you win big, I mean, heavy wears the crown. But it's a good thing, because we're going to have a chance to really pick apart, hey, who's the next man up? Who wants this opportunity to come here and be a part of great success?
Man.
Okay.
Yeah, before we leave, or before we end this, I got to give a shout out to my guys down at Cook Sporting Goods for keeping these fresh hats on my head, and
They got you, huh?
my people at the Rally House for giving me this nice shirt to wear today. They're not our sponsors yet, but I got to give them a shout out.
Don't give them no shout out till you didn't bring something for the people.
This how you set them up.
You
man.
didn't bring nothing for us. You're going to be like, man, guys, it's
You don't
about
even wear
Corey's.
hats.
I would if I had hats like that came from Cooks.
You heard that, guys.
Yeah, give us a stack of hats,
We'll
man.
throw a beanie on his head or something.
Hey, and already sweating right there. All right, we got to get out of here. Hey, man, I
Corey, appreciate you,
I
man.
appreciate you guys having me on board. This has been
Definitely
fun.
love the
It's been
fact that
awesome.
you took the time to come be a part of Legends Unplugged, man. I think the fact that we are believing in what you guys are bringing to the table is going to be a phenomenal year for Bearcat basketball.
Love it, brother.
Yep.
And we're about to get out of here. Corie Evans, Corie Blount. I'm not Corie, I'm Terry. But I'm in the house. This is Legends Unplugged. We out.
Deuces.